Hey Gateway, this is the Lifegroup video for week beginning Monday, 10th of July. We're in a preaching series at the moment looking at the book of 1 Timothy, and the series is called Blueprints for Life Together. The idea that this book contains a lot of helpful blueprints for us as a church community. And we've looked at who is Timothy, we've looked at who is Paul, and this session is looking at what is eldership or oversight. And you may remember that I started by looking at 1 Timothy 2, 5 to 7. We saw how Jesus is the mediator between God and mankind for us, the one who has ransomed us, the one who's paid the price for our wrongdoing with his blood, and he's reconciled us back to God. We saw how this is kind of helpful for setting the scene, the contentious verses that we'll go on to look at. That actually there is, we need to kind of keep the main thing the main thing. We need to focus on the core issues that unite us, especially when looking at some verses that could potentially bring a sense of division. So, we then unpacked together 1 Timothy chapter 2 verse 8 through to chapter 3 verse 7, and so you might want to pause me and read those verses together as a life group. And then you may remember that we ended by looking at the idea that all leadership, all oversight should be service, and just as Jesus modeled for us throughout his life. You may remember that I also mentioned it would be good for you to do some study personally to see where you land on some of these issues, if you are so inclined. And so I'll put these in the description, but here are some places that you may like to go. There's a good article on the Gospel Coalition website about the beautiful difference between male and female and how we should complement one another as sexes. If videos are more your thing, I'll put a link there to a big conference which has about 6 or 7 different talks looking at this issue. If reading's more your thing, there are a few books here that I could recommend. You've got Embracing Complementarianism, kind of helping churches to think through what does this theological persuasion look like in everyday church life. You've then got, I think, really important book, Developing Female Leaders by Katie Cole, helping us to think through how do we receive female leadership in church life. You've then got someone in New Frontiers called Stephen Liston. He's written a book called Gender Equality and kind of gives a good overview of the different arguments for different understandings. And then you've got, if you want to read really kind of a bit deeper on this issue and understand both sides of the argument, you've got this Two Views on Women in Ministry by Zondervan. So yeah, do feel free to do some further study and research, and always up for dialoguing over this. So just to end then, to start, you guys, here are 2 questions for you. Why are these verses contentious in our culture? Why are these verses contentious in our culture? And secondly, what beauty and danger is there in a complementarian approach? So in terms of that word complementarian, basically um, it depicts that there are different but complementary roles for men and women in the family, in marriage, and in church life. So a complementarian approach that male and female complement one another. The other kind of word, the other kind of theological position, if you like, or approach, is egalitarian, which suggests there should be complete equal opportunity for both sexes. So do have a loving debate and chew through those two questions as a life group.